things I wanted to ask you guys is, in Europe, every country has top clubs, right? Like in the Premier League, you've got your Chelsea, Liverpool's, your Man United, Man Cities, and La Liga, you got Barca, you got Madrid. Here, we don't really have that, but you do see teams that have more popularity than others. Like LAFC is probably a pretty popular team now.
I mean, you're in LA, bro.
LA
You're in LA.
Galaxy, yeah,
I'm saying, like,
yeah. So
You're in LA.
like you're like probably
No, but I agree. I guess
yeah. So my question to you guys is, how can we become a big MLS team? How can we be considered a big MLS team? Because the most attractive things for players outside of the club is the cities that they live in, right? Like Charlotte doesn't give you what Miami, what LA, what New York gives you. So what can we do as a team to kind of put ourselves in a position to be considered one of the best teams in the MLS?
Okay, so I am going to leave I agree with you. I think the city does play a big part, but I also think that in order for Charlotte to grow, like the club wise, I think they need to bring. I wouldn't say top players. Like for example, Inter Miami right now with David Beckham, they recently just got Matuidi from Juventus, and they also got Higuain from Juventus. So if you think about it. I know Higuain is a big signing. I understand that he's probably past his prime, but I wouldn't mind going to see a game. Because it's
exciting.
It's Higuain. You feel me?
No, yeah, doesn't his brother plays for
He did. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did. So
Like Columbus Crew. Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's what we lack. Well, we haven't even. I think we've only done one signing, I believe. Okay, so. We have a lot of work to do. So I think we need to bring in, for example, Suarez, probably give it or take 2 years. He's not going to be, he's not going to be the same Suarez. So I think, and I know that.
That's gonna be a hard bid right there.
It is. It is. But you got to think about this though. A lot of European players or a lot of South American players that play in Europe, a lot of them look at the MLS as money wise. Because a lot of these clubs, like for example, LA or LAFC, the LA Galaxy, they pay good money for these players to come over.
Top dollar.
Exactly. So I think that my personal view is I think that we should start bringing, who knows, if possible. I wish Messi. No I know. But what I'm saying is like maybe bringing strikers or
Well, the one thing that
like
benefits the MLS that makes it more. I guess every team a better chance is that you only have 3 designated players. So I think the key is the quality of that designated player, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine if we got an Ozil, right? And Ozil came and just started doing crazy stuff.
But if we got Ozil, like I would probably get Charlotte FC tattooed, bro. Like
Nice.
it's.
What do you think is going to take for us to be a big club?
I mean, at the end of the day, because MLS, let's be honest, like in terms of like fund allocation, they get 3 designated players.
Yeah.
So that says enough about like the league itself financially. So we're gonna have to depend on homegrown players.
You're right.
And that's the thing, like overall longevity, because we don't have the money to go out and no MLS club other than maybe Atlanta United and the LA clubs. Oh, and Inter Miami have the money to just go out and spend on these massive like players that were great at one point.
Yeah.
So you got to think, what can we do to like ensure that we might have a chance at a future talent?
I think the one good thing is that we're doing is we're setting up that academy. So you got a U17, U19, U15 team, I believe. Charlotte FC does. So that's good. So you're bringing in prospects, and this area that we're in, the Charlotte, Raleigh, these areas, like a lot of good players come through here.
I know. There's a couple kids I played against the development academies. Like one of the kids went to Dortmund on trial.
Yeah.
Another kid went to Ajax. So I mean, and it's just like this whole.
So,
this is one of the most competitive cities in terms of like soccer out of the South. I feel like you got the three big cities. I feel like are big states. Are Florida, Georgia, and then North Carolina.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I never thought about it from that perspective. You're right. And I think if we could do a great job of finding those talents, because like when you think of Brazil, like you think of Sao Paulo has produced a lot of amazing players for Brazil. like Paris and France produce. And like I'm not saying that we're that kind of caliber, but I think in this area we could find raw talent that
yeah.
you just put them in a system where all they have to focus is becoming good players, and then we feed them off. We could be like the Eredivisie of of this area, right? Well, we're not necessarily the best league. The Dutch league isn't necessarily the best league, but they produce a lot of amazing talents and they sell them off. And that's why the Dutch team is so good.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
the league's not that great. It's not one of the top 5.
it's definitely one of those like two team leagues for sure. Maybe 3 with Ajax, PSV, and then Feyenoord. I think that's how you say it.
FC Twente sometimes does something.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, but like at the same time, like this development academy, this offers a whole different opportunity for other people
100%.
because before you had people coming from all over the country trying to make that Atlanta United academy.
Yeah.
So they had they got the chance to pick from all the best players that were coming from all over
That's
the country.
very true. You're right.
And I mean, and at the same time, you have a brand new DA coming.
Yeah.
So that's going to filter in players from South Carolina. That's going to filter in players from all over the place that don't have a DA to come play for.
You're right. So if we narrowed it down, I would say finding from the designated players that we get, finding some quality players that I think one of them needs to be a star.
Yes,
right? Just for the perspective of like, oh, okay, like I want to go see this player. Even if they're not great anymore, you still want to go because you reminisce about them when they were in their prime. So you would go for that. Another one would be a player who has some youth in them, but you could tell that he's ready to go, right? Kind of like when Jovinko came from Juventus, like he was still in his quote unquote prime, and the third designated player, I don't know, I would grab somebody from South America.
Oh, bro, we got it. I think we need to get somebody from Charlotte. Like we need somebody because like I feel like if we get not the designated player, but I feel like if we get somebody from Charlotte that can be a focal player, like that's just gonna be a whole new love.